The Marvel Cinematic Universe is by far the highest-grossing movie franchise of all time. With more than $18 billion in total box office sales, it's worth more than Star Wars and Harry Potter combined. Many people assume that Marvel actors are the best compensated in the business, but the fact is many movie stars accept a small salary in the hopes that it will help their career in the long term. From fresh faces to established movie stars, we're exploring how much the Avengers actors were paid. In a franchise that is notorious for underpaying its actors, one performer managed to leverage an amazing deal. Robert Downey Jr. was in one of the first recent Marvel movies. Like his compatriots, the actor only made $500,000 for his first Iron Man film. But since then, he's learned to negotiate and use his star power to his advantage. For Avengers Infinity War, he arranged to get a significant portion of the movie's proceeds, meaning he's made a cool $75 million for the film, far exceeding any of his peers. In the following months, he made $5 million a day for his cameo in Spider-Man Homecoming. No one knows exactly how much he made for Endgame, but he had the same lucrative back-end deal, so many believe he made upwards of $200 million. With a net worth of at least $300 million, the actor can comfortably kick back and retire. Few people were familiar with Chris Hemsworth when he landed the role of a lifetime, portraying the eponymous character in the first Thor movie. For this reason, he only made an absurdly low $150,000 for his performance, but he was a hit with audiences, and this precipitated a meteoric rise to becoming a household name. He's made $15 million each for Avengers Infinity War, Endgame, and Thor Ragnarok. With 8 appearances total in the MCU, Hemsworth is worth an amazing $90 million. The hunky Australian got his start acting in local soap operas and was featured on Dancing with the Stars Australia before he jumped ship and moved to Tinseltown to pursue a career as an actor in big-budget movies. His big break came with 2009's Star Trek reboot, in which he had a major part. Though he spends much of his year working in Los Angeles, he's moved his family to Byron Bay in his native Australia. On top of his Marvel work, the actor is keeping busy and quickly adding to his already massive net worth. Essentially the leader of the Avengers, Captain America has a lot of responsibilities inside the core superhero group. While he didn't have a lot of screen time in Avengers Infinity War, Captain America played a significant role in this new film. It was his last curtain call in the part, and the final time we are expected to see the actor play the patriotic hero for the time being. Confusingly, he is the face of 2 different superheroes in the MCU. The first, of course, is Captain America, and the second is the Human Torch from the Fantastic Four. However, the Fantastic Four haven't been featured in recent films, leaving him to concentrate on his Captain America role. In his appropriately titled debut, Captain America: The First Avenger, Evans made a measly $1 million. That salary was, of course, raised by the time Evans starred in Avengers Endgame. According to The Hollywood Reporter, the actor made a cool $15 million for the movie, which is the same salary he earned for 2016's Captain America: Civil War and 2018's Avengers Infinity War. Evans' net worth is somewhere around $50 million. Along with his Marvel income, Evans has also starred in films like Snowpiercer and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. He also has a campaign deal with Gucci. Scarlett Johansson is the highest paid actress in the world and one of the biggest stars in the history of cinema. Since her first appearance in Iron Man 2, Scarlett Johansson has continued to boost her star power by appearing as Black Widow in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Even though she's never had her own solo film, she still demands top billing, making $15 million for each of the last Avengers movies. Because of her long and prolific career, ScarJo has much more money than most of her co-stars. The actress is worth a fabulous $140 million, dwarfing many of the previous names on the list. This is also due to her host of lucrative celebrity endorsements with brands like Calvin Klein and Louis Vuitton. In 2016, Scarlett Johansson became the highest-grossing female movie star of all time. Her movies have grossed more than $3.3 billion in revenues worldwide. There are also rumors that she'll have her own Marvel spin-off in the next 2 years, for which she is expected to make at least $20 million. Jeremy Renner was in a handful of movies in the early 2000s, but it was his performance in 2008's war film The Hurt Locker that really put him on the map. He has since played Hawkeye in 5 installments of the MCU, earning more with each successive appearance. Like the rest of his co-stars in 2012's The Avengers, Renner earned between $2 and $3 million, with a tiny fraction of the film's proceeds. Since then, he has increased with his fellow Marvel superheroes until Endgame, where he was paid an estimated $15 million. Due to his many other movies, such as American Hustle, Mission Impossible, and Arrival, Renner is worth an impressive $50 million. Though it is not a significant source of income, Renner is also a musician. In the 2006 films Love Comes to the Executioner and The Assassination of Jesse James, Renner performed the songs American Pie and Good Old Rebel. He also appeared in music videos for Trouble by Pink and Scenes on Sunset by Brother Sal. Mark Ruffalo is a celebrated actor who got his start in romantic comedies like 13 Going on 30 before breaking into more serious roles. Though he's often disguised as a green CGI giant, Ruffalo played one of the most iconic Avengers, the Hulk. He made his debut in 2012's The Avengers and reportedly made between $2 and $3 million. There's been a dramatic jump between the first Avengers movie and the series finale. Based on the salaries of actors with similar billing in the film, most fans believe Ruffalo made around $15 million for both Infinity War and Endgame. Whatever his wages were, Ruffalo has guarantees that he makes a comfortable living through big-budget films like Spotlight and Now You See Me. He also has a celebrity endorsement deal with Clearasil that provides him multiple millions every year. This gives Ruffalo the freedom to follow his true passion, political activism. He's led a number of anti-fracking campaigns across the US and is deeply invested in what he calls a clean energy revolution. This 29-year-old actor from Sacramento, California is one of the biggest breakout stars of the last decade, receiving such accolades as an Academy Award and a Golden Globe. Time magazine named her one of the 100 most influential people of the world in 2019. Larson's breakthrough came with a leading role in the acclaimed independent drama Short Term 12, and she continued to take on supporting parts in the romance The Spectacular Now and the comedy Trainwreck. For playing a kidnapping victim in the drama Room, Larson won the Academy Award for Best Actress. Because of her impressive rap sheet, Larson was paid more than the average MCU first-timer for her starring role in 2019's Captain Marvel. She pulled in $5 million and is expected to make even more for Avengers Endgame. Though she is a relatively new member of the Avengers crew, she's already accrued a $10 million net worth, and she is poised to earn exponentially in the coming years. Not afraid to engage in politics, Larson has been a vocal advocate for gender equality and sexual assault survivors. Though this has made her divisive to certain MCU fans, Larson is proving them wrong with her meteoric rise to stardom. He might be the king of Wakanda, but his starting wage was anything but royal. Despite Chadwick Boseman entering the MCU as one of the more critically acclaimed stars, his debut as Black Panther in Captain America: Civil War apparently only earned him $500,000. Notoriously cheap toward first-time stars, Boseman made $2 million on the $1 billion grossing film Black Panther. His fees for both Infinity War and Endgame have both been kept a secret, but many estimate he made around $3 million for each. The fact that Boseman is such a successful actor comes as a surprise. He studied for his whole life to become a writer and director, but found that he had a hidden talent for thespianism. After successful portrayals in Draft Day, The Express, and Message from the King, Boseman was well known in the industry, setting him up for his breakout role in Ryan Coogler's box office smash Black Panther. Since then, most of his work has been in the MCU, though he plans to return to writing and directing once he gets a little more free time. Chris Pratt never had ambitions to be an actor. He was waiting tables at a Bubba Gump shrimp company in Maui when a casting director discovered him and cast him in a low-budget horror movie. From here, he worked his way into a memorable role on the highly acclaimed comedy series Parks and Recreation. For many years, he was typecast as a goofy, lovable simpleton, but after a serious role in Moneyball, it was clear that Pratt had acting chops. For his first leading role in Guardians of the Galaxy, Pratt pulled in a respectable $1.5 million. But this continues a trend of actors making a tiny fraction of a film's total box office. The movie grossed $775 million in total. Though he has recognition as a serious actor, he made an estimated $5 million for each of the most recent Marvel movies. Pratt also made $10 million for Jurassic World and $12 million for Passengers, to round out his net worth of just over $40 million. Another classically trained British actor, Benedict Cumberbatch, received a Master of Arts in Classical Acting from the London Academy of Dramatic Arts. He's an extremely accomplished and prolific actor, appearing in dozens of films over the years. Because of this, he was compensated handsomely for his 2016 debut as Doctor Strange, at least compared to other first-time Marvel actors. He made $6.4 million on the movie, and likely received a small percentage of its $677 million box office. Since he has been a fan favorite, his salary will increase to $9.6 million for the Doctor Strange sequel. Disney has been extremely secretive about his salary for the last two Avengers ensemble films, but experts estimate that he made something in the neighborhood of $10 million for each. This is in addition to a long run on BBC's Sherlock, and a very profitable starring role in a recent remake of The Grinch. Cumberbatch has been extremely tight-lipped regarding his fees for these projects, so people estimate his net worth to be anywhere from $30 to $50 million. At only 22 years old, Tom Holland is the youngest actor ever to portray Spider-Man. With a professional background in theater going back more than a decade, he was clearly qualified for the job. He made his entrance into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or MCU, with 2016's Captain America: Civil War. However, Spider-Man: Homecoming was his first starring role for the series. Because he was a newcomer, Holland couldn't demand a respectable salary. Though the film grossed almost $900 million, Holland only walked away with a paltry $500,000. The specifics of his contract are unknown, but lead actors generally receive bonuses when a movie is successful. Tom Holland is believed to have made a reported $3 million for his work in Infinity War, and he's expected to make around the same amount of money for his work in Endgame, though these numbers have not been confirmed. Add to this another starring role in 2019's Spider-Man: Far From Home, and Holland has the foundation of a very respectable career in Hollywood, only 4 years after graduating from high school. But his salary is minuscule compared to some of his co-stars.